tactical, but also very practical. Welcome back. Today, I'm super excited for this episode. I had a lot of fun writing it, pulling the data together, and I'm going to have a lot of fun recording it. I'm going to have a lot of fun answering your guys' questions about it. Today's all about messaging and how much it matters to the success of everything we do as marketers. And let me first admit that for the first few years of my marketing career, I slept on copy so hard. I didn't think it mattered that much. I didn't think people read captions on ads. I didn't think the headline of an ad really mattered that much. I didn't think people were going to read long blocks of text on our landing pages. But after a couple of years now of diligently writing copy every single week and using IntelliGems to split test that copy, I can tell you without a doubt that copywriting is a performance lever. And if you are not actively testing your messaging, you are leaving so much money on the table. So that's what this episode is. It's all about how much messaging matters. Today's episode is sponsored by IntelliGems, the software we use to test all of this copy on our website. And if you listen to the last episode, you know that I'm testing most of our new angles and new messages and new headlines. I'm testing them on our website first before we invest in ad creative. That way, when something wins on the website, I know with 100% certainty that new headline or block of copy increased conversion. So then when we take that new headline or we take that new angle and we put it into ads, those ads have such a higher hit rate and we're not wasting a ton of money testing new ideas in the ad account. So if you have not been testing messaging on your website, go to intelligems.io. Let them know I sent you. Let them know you want to run some copy and headline tests right away. It will start adding money to your top and bottom line. All right. First up, when I think about writing copy, I think about communicating the value of our products to our customers. I think that we as marketers should be forced to justify our price to site visitors. All right, a lot of us in e-com sell something unique. We don't sell the most commoditized version of whatever it is. If it was, we'd all be just selling in Walmart and Amazon and not on Shopify. But if you're on Shopify, it's probably because there's something unique to your brand or your product that other brands and products don't have. So your customers might not know what to expect. They might know it should be a little bit more expensive than, the most basic version of what you make, but your messaging can really persuade them to spend more and more money here. So here's the example with Original Grain. If I tell you that I sell watches that are made out of wood, which I do, and then I tell you that wood is one of the most cheapest and renewable resources on earth, which is also true, you're going to think that $500 for this watch is a lot of money. You're going to think it shouldn't cost that much. You're going to think that there are much cheaper wood watches out there, and you'd be right. So that's not what we tell people. What I'm about to read to you is a new headline and copy that I wrote to communicate the value and the history of our watches. And we split test this for a month on our highest traffic landing page, and it increased profit and revenue per session by 20%. Here's what it says. Whiskey barrel watches, a century in the making. Oak trees grow for at least 100 years before they're cut down and crafted into whiskey barrels. Then they age our favorite whiskeys for up to 20 years before we inlay the wood into watches. So each watch doesn't just tell time, it tells the stories of the lumberjacks, craftsmen, distillers, and whiskey drinkers who worked together, spanning a century to bring you this watch. Upgrade your collection today because you deserve a watch that's as rugged and unique as you are. So after I tell you that story, after I force you to think about the 100 years of history, and maybe someone's great-great-grandfather planted this tree in the late 1800s, and then that tree lived through the Great Depression and world wars and fake moon landings, and then it was harvested and crafted into a barrel filled with whiskey where it sat patiently for another decade or two. Then we got it, cut it, planed it, and inlaid it into our watches. After I tell you all that, $500 for this watch seems like a steal. Seems really reasonably priced. And after I tell you all that, we are seeing people buying more watches and people buying our most expensive watches and people buying our most expensive bundles on that page. And it's all because of this messaging. So for you guys, For anyone whose products aren't made out of oak trees, one, maybe try that. It's worked out well for us. But if they're not made out of oak trees, I still think you can communicate the value by talking about how long it took you to design the product. Maybe the hard costs that go into it. This is a great time where if you have shitty margins, use it to your advantage. Tell people how high quality and expensive the materials are that go into making your product. Tell them how many years you had to work on perfecting the design, right? All of these things are going to show people that this isn't just some random thing. This isn't some cheap thing you're drop shipping. This is something that real people worked hard on for a long time, invested their time and money into. That is going to justify a higher and higher price, and that is going to increase your conversion rate as well. Now, the second way that we try to communicate the value of our products through our messaging is by comparing our products and their positive attributes to the positive attributes that our customers want to see in themselves. So some of our best performing messaging has been more about our customers. We say our watches are as rugged and dependable as the men who wear them. Or our whiskey barrel watches are smooth and unique, just like the guys who wear them in the whiskey they drink. Some of our welcome flows now say, wow, you must be shopping for someone amazing since you're considering an original grain watch. Shop our collection because he deserves a watch with as much character and as classic as he is. All of these things are gassing up our customers and putting them side by side with our watches. So we're implying, and we hope the customers are inferring that, hey, if you're shopping for someone awesome, who's a rugged and unique and smooth and dependable and classic guy who's full of character, then you should get them a watch with all those qualities too. So now they're not just buying a physical good, they're buying something that reflects the identity, this very positive, maybe aspirational identity of whoever they're shopping for. That's going to make them buy more. That's going to make them spend more money. That's going to make conversion rate go up. Oh, and I was wrong about the stats from earlier. I said this increased all our stats by 20%. Quick edit here. Increased conversion rate by 49% and profit per visitor by 46%. So, yeah, wild. Test that. The next results were about changing our copy on the military page. We make a collection of watches made out of military ammo crate wood, and that copy has always been about it's always been about us, has always been about our givebacks to veterans organizations, has always been about our co-founder who's a Marine veteran, and the headline on that was our salute to service, and it talked about us paying respects and donating proceeds back to causes that we believe in. But I wanted to test something new, and we took the principle that has worked for us on our whiskey barrel stuff of comparing it to how awesome our customers are. So the new headline we tested was, these watches are as rugged and dependable as our nation's bravest. So we are still tipping our hat and still saluting to the servicemen and women who protect our country, but also saying that our watches are built as tough as they are and are as dependable as they are. When we did that, when we took the focus off us, put it back on the target customer for this collection, conversion rate went up 23%, AOV went up like crazy, so profit per visitor was up 49% on that collection. So those are all the ways that you can write copy. Well, that's all the ways that I write copy to really communicate the value of your products more. And you can see from the results of this test that this is 100% a performance tactic. This is something that can really change your business overnight. And what we've been able to do is we've been able to test copy, and as soon as we see conversion rate go up, AOV go up, then we test higher prices alongside that new copy. That's why we're doing this whole big series about website testing together, because price testing and copy testing don't operate in silos. They can affect each other. And if you're really good at writing copy that connects with people and communicates the value of your products, then you can test your prices higher and higher and higher, and people will still pay for it. So find copy that performs well and then go back and test prices again in line with that new copy. All right, the last thing we do when it comes to testing messaging, for us, we are a brand that has two very distinct customer cohorts. We have the men who end up wearing our watches, and then most commonly, it is the females in their lives who are buying for them. It's their wives, their moms, their daughters, sisters, girlfriends, whoever. That is our best customer. Now, we have very different messaging that appeals to each group. And the tricky part is, I know 10 days before our Father's Day sale that we should be running the messaging towards the women. And then I know in the middle of the summer, we should be running the messaging towards the men. But what we don't know is where that changeover point is. So we actually started split testing this at the beginning of May, our gift giving female focused copy versus our like evergreen brand built for living focused on men copy. We start split testing that early just to kind of see where the changeover point is. And then we do the same thing at the end of our sale as well. These are the results of that test that we ran at the end of our Christmas sale last year. For a while, Show Your Man was winning, but we looked at these stats every couple of days, and once Built for Living started to creep up, we knew that gift-giving season was over, and we could change back to all of our evergreen copy that we know performs well. So you can test copy to try to increase performance. You can also test copy to make sure you're nailing the gifting season, because I can tell you, the evergreen copy didn't start winning till like January. It's not December 26th that the gift-giving season is over. So testing this and keeping an eye on this allowed us to extract the most revenue and profit every single day until the data told us that gifting season was officially over. So if you have not tested your messaging, if you have not figured out how the value you communicate in your products affects your prices, affects the conversion rate and your customers' AOV, then you need to get on this. Especially today with tools like ChatGPT, use chat as a second brain. I'm going to do another episode where I'm going to share my screen and write a bunch of copy with chat. Spoiler alert, I'm not giving him a 2-sentence prop and then copying and pasting whatever he spits out. That's not how you should be using chat. You should be using him as a sparring partner, as a brainstorming partner. You should be trying to use him as an extension of your brain. And we're going to go through that on that episode. But even before that episode, you know your customers better than I do. Go write some copy that's going to compliment them. That's going to make them, see your products as a way to identify with the aspirational version of themselves that they want to see. Show them copy that communicates how valuable your products are. Start testing this right now. Go to intelligems.io and get set up so you can split test it on your website and then take winning messages, throw it in your ad account, and start printing money. All right. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time.